What's up, people? It's your guy, Metamorphosis, and I'm back with another video. So without further ado, we have another coach talking about Coach Prime. And this is a Pac-12 coach who refused to reveal his person. He wanted to go on the record, but didn't want to say who he is. So my concern when I see stuff like this is Coach Prime is trying to build up the Pac-12. You all should be concerned about, is there going to be a Pac-12 in the next 2 years? But no, this guy has time, and evidently have nothing but time on his hands, which leads me to believe he's on the hot seat. This coach here is on the hot seat. Why would you have time to be thinking about what another coach is doing? This program can't be winning because he would be focused on his team. But let's get into this article. The guy made a comment. Shout out to Buff Stampede Adam Munster Tiger. Forgive me if I said that wrong, Adam. Adam Munster Tiger had an article titled "Coach Prime Responds to Comment Made by Anonymous Pac-12 Coach." Come on, Coach. Come on, Coach. What kind of you're supposed to be a man of integrity. If you're going to make a comment, stand by it. Stand behind it. Expose yourself. He says, it feels like a lose-lose for Colorado with Prime, the anonymous Pac-12 coach said. Either he's going to be really good, really fast, and leave for another gig, which, looking at the roster, doesn't seem possible. That's a contradiction right there. I mean, why would this clearly? If they were, forgive me for saying this, ladies, don't take this out of context. Please forgive me. But this seems like this is a comment. Seems like a woman would say, because you have an immediate contradiction in the same breath. Either he's going to be really good, really fast, and leave for another gig, which, looking at that roster, doesn't seem possible. I'm going to leave that there, guys. Okay. The alternative is that they're going to be bad, and they'll end up firing him in a big circus. Why is that even important to you? Don't you have a program to run, Coach? Shouldn't you be focusing on your program? That's what Coach Prime is doing. This man is dealing with all of these health issues, and he's still focused on getting his team to the college football playoff. Let's just be honest. The goal for Coach Prime is to win the Pac-12 championship. They have the staff. They have all the pieces to get that done. That's their focus. I wouldn't be selling my team any less dream than the Pac-12 championship, because once you win the Pac-12 championship, now we can talk about the CFP. Moving right along. It's hard to tell. It's hard to separate the hype from reality. They're in on the portal, but they're also preaching this old school work hard to earn everything mentality to their roster. Of course, you know Coach Prime, and I ain't trying to drag up crazy history on Coach Prime, but last time I seen Coach Prime go off on somebody was from the late what's my guy's name? Coach Prime threw a bucket of water on him. The guy passed away recently this year. Tim McCarver was making some comments about Coach Prime after a baseball game that he played in, and Coach Prime's mother called him and told him that this guy was disparaging him. Well, she didn't say it like that. She just said more or less, this guy's talking really bad about you. And then Coach Prime goes and finds McCarver and start throwing a bucket of water on the man. Now, people that looked at that probably said, oh man, he wasn't Coach Prime then, he was Dion. Okay, then. And so They was like, oh man, Deion lost his temper. Deion was upset because the man had upset his mother. Deion didn't really more or less care, in my opinion. Coach Prime, if you want to jump in, jump in. In my opinion, Deion didn't really care what this guy thought about him. He wasn't his coach. He wasn't Bobby Cox. So it didn't really matter what prognosticators thought. And McCarver was a former player who really didn't appreciate a guy coming in part-time, taking a full-time guy's position that has played baseball all his life. And here you got this phenomenal athlete who can play two sports. And so here this guy is, this Deion Sanders guy, is playing a position in the outfield and productive at the plate. Okay, he's not only playing good defense while he's in the field, he's also productive at the plate and on the base paths. So McCarver makes these comments. He upsets Deion's mother. Deion's mother calls Deion. Deion goes into the press room or wherever the interviews were being held, finds McCarver, throws a bucket of water on him, and throws him some more. This is not funny because the guy, it's the late Tim McCarver, God rest his soul, but he didn't know Deion. Okay, Deion was a man that put in the work to get where he was. And you can see that today. That's the kind of coach he is, where he's at now. Okay. But the point I'm trying to make is Deion was upset because the man upset Deion's mother, who happened to be very important to Deion, who's Deion doesn't talk a lot about his father. And I'm not saying that they don't have a relationship, but Deion's mother is, if you watch the way they move, very important to him and very important to the family. So he was more upset that what McCarver said upset his mother. Okay, so now back to this story here. Deion Wade is weighing in on this coach, because this story could be made up. This may not even actually be a story. So we have to approach, I want to approach this delicately without going in, because this guy may not even exist, because they're anonymous. We don't know who this is or what this is. This could be an AI that made this comment. They say AI gonna be replacing people's jobs. I don't know if they could replace a coach's job, but we'll see. Okay. Coach Prime said, this is the dumbest thing I've almost ever seen. And the only reason I said almost is because I'm giving y'all time to top this stupidity. We coming, and you know it. Love him. Well, that's Coach Prime. That's the watered down Coach Prime. If that was been Deion back in the day, and they would have found out who this dude was, there would be some words. Now, this other coach, who, if he exists, if it's his actual person, if they exist, they got to play Colorado. And he don't want no bulletin board material for Colorado. And, and you don't want Coach Prime throwing a bucket of water on him after the game. When they come to midfield to shake hands, okay. And so that look, I'm having fun with this because you got to, okay, because we don't know who this person is. We don't even know if they exist. I'm serious when I say this, guys. Don't. I mean, obviously somebody made this a story. It's the off season. We got to get to September 2nd one way or the other, and this is just the other. So bear with me here. Okay, so now Coach Prime is about his business, dealing with all of the health issues and everything that he has to deal with, okay? And he's still focused on the goal at hand. That tells you the difference between this coach, this anonymous coach, and Coach Prime. That's the difference. See, another thing I want to put out there. and I'm going to wrap this up. Coach Prime has put, the way he has operated in the portal, he has put a lot of coaches and college programs, ADs, Board of Regents, all of the people that's surrounded around the programs, he's put them on notice. Because now, if Coach Prime comes in and wins significantly, which I think he's going to do, I have them at 11-1. Okay, I got them going 11-1, and that's just not being optimistic. I'm just saying, once they see how his son plays that position at quarterback, it's going to be a game changer. That's going to be a game changer. I have him at 11-1. Okay, finishing out 11-1, and going, and possibly going to a college football playoff. If Coach Prime is able to, again, let's say go 11-1, make the college football playoff, does all of this through the transfer portal and recruiting. Remember, he has the 40-40-20 rule, which I mentioned in another video. You're going to have to look that up if you're not familiar with the program and how Coach Prime operates, and his staff operates. You have to look that up. But he's putting a lot of, let's say, Pac-12 and a lot of college football programs on notice, because they're going to start looking at their programs and say, hey, this guy came in and got all this done in one season. Coach Prime understands that his window is finite for this opportunity, and he has to make the most of it as quickly as possible, because this is a unique opportunity for a coach who came from the SWAC into a Power 5 school. So Coach Prime is trying to pioneer and break new ground for other coaches behind him. This thing is bigger than Coach Prime. A lot of people are focused on the little ancillary issues, but for Coach Prime, this is a huge thing for him. And if he can become successful, really, really successful, not necessarily very quickly, but as soon as possible, this would be a feather in the cap for future coaches. Now, everybody ain't Coach Prime. Everybody don't move like Coach Prime. Coach Prime is a very principled, God-fearing man. So a lot of what he is doing and instilling into the program comes from the life that he lives and the God that he serves. Okay, so there's a lot more to this Coach Prime effect than a lot of people really want to discuss, but be that as it may, I'm in support of Coach Prime because my father was a football coach, and I grew up as a little youngster, around the football program. So I've always have an affinity for coaches. I have a great deal of respect for them, for the time that they take out of their lives. I have a great deal of respect for the wives of these coaches who share their lives with, who allow their husbands to share their lives with these kids and these kids' parents. These coaches over their lifetime will impact a lot of kids in their lifetime, be it positively, negatively, or indifferently, good, bad, or indifferent. They're going to impact the kid in some way, because I look back and I listen to some of my dad's former players. Now, he didn't coach college. He didn't coach college, when he got into coaching. He coached high school football. But I listened to a lot of his ex-players, and all of them talk about what a difference he made. And if you look at Coach Prime, he's making that same difference in the lives of these players. So, back to the story. This guy's anonymous. We don't even know if he actually exists. Coach Prime weighs in on it anyway. Lets him know that, hey man, you got bigger problems, and I'm just one of them. You know, that's why he don't want to go on the record to say who he is. They just said that he is from the Pac-12. They were at least able to come up with that. So if y'all other coaches are smart, y'all would probably, hey man, y'all need to out this dude, because I don't need Colorado amped up when they play us. Thinking we the one that made that comment. You know, look, not that Coach Prime and the Buffaloes need bulletin board material, but hey, if it helps, it helps. Hey, that's all I have for you guys right now. I want to thank you all for riding and rocking with me this long. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I would encourage you to. It's going to be like this. You know, you're going to get material like this as I'm able to put it out. And so, hey, enjoy your 4th of July. God bless you and your families. Y'all stay safe. And I'll holler at you.